Olá, criadores! Bem-vindos a mais um episódio do seu programa favorito de literatura, arte, drama, tretas e músicas. Como sempre, teremos muitas histórias e casos para contar, tá? Se você gosta de um bom papo cheio de ideias subversivas, esse é o seu podcast.
Okay, let's go then. Hello, creators. Welcome to your beloved and thought-provoking podcast. Here you discover the story behind the story, the extraordinary journey of writers and their creation inspirations. Prepare yourselves for today. We are about to embark on an incredible adventure. I'm Cristina Teixeira, a writer specialist in creative writing and grandmaster of this program. And here on my side we have a guest. Invite a journalist, please, Marcelle. Introduce yourself.
I prefer that you say that I'm a surprise, not a guest.
You are
not just a guest. I'm a surprise.
You're definitely a surprise.
Not even me. Knew that I would be here today.
That will be a surprise for our special guest. Ruffle the tambour. Louise Dumayne, award-winning fiction writer based in North Canadian. Hold on. Wideness. She's working on her second novel, which is a supernatural thriller. Ladies and gentlemen, she lives off roads and off grids in a cabin. As you can see, it's a cabin on the woods with her husband Neil and a retired sled dog called Blaze. Where is Blaze? Where is him? Louise, bring me Blaze now.
No, I'm so sorry, Chris. Hello to you both there, to you all in the studio. I'm gonna have to send you a video because my retired sled dog will not come in the house. He will not come in. He hates it at 50 below. He will sit outside in his house. He will not come in. So we're going to do something really special, and I'm going to send you a video, and you can send me a video of Spike, and they can meet over video.
That's a deal, because he's a sled dog. Maybe. What do you think about that?
I don't know. Actually, my function here is to break the ice. Do you like this little joke? This is I make the bad jokes here, okay? So this is my function.
Oh, because I'll make the good jokes here.
Okay, so we have a problem here.
All right, deal. And I thought to come all covered in like a big hood and coat to like make you more, at home. But I didn't have time. I forgot that, and fuck it. But honestly, the important thing is our conversation, because Jesus, man, I miss you so badly. I really miss you. I miss you so much that I make a horrible technological problem so I can make you, for the second time, an interview. Just make an excuse to see you again, because honestly, woman, for a long time we didn't speak.
It's been a long time. It's been a long time, Chris.
Yeah, it's been a long time, and it's been really far away. You know that. You know what her nickname is?
I'm curious now.
Oh, I tell you,
Queen of the Ice.
I tell you, no. This is her name now. Her nickname, her old nickname, was Kilimanjaro Girl, and. Please, Louise, do you mind to explain that for our audience?
Tell you both the terrible story of Kilimanjaro, which I know you were blown away that I'd climbed this mountain when I told you. You were like, what? Climb Kilimanjaro? And I was like, well, it was one of the worst experiences of my life. And had I known in advance, I would never have done it. But it's not exactly a climb. I walked to the top, but I was so sick with altitude sickness. I was just so stupid. I didn't know about mountains, so I just didn't know. I thought you could walk up and it would be fine. And I think I more or less crawled to the top, and going back down, like off the summit, I think I just asked my poor guide, like every 5 minutes, I was like, I need the helicopter. And he was like, no, you'll be fine. Keep walking. And I'd be like, oh, I need the helicopter. So it sounds really great, but it was an experience where I say I learned my limit then, okay? And I've not been up a high mountain since, and I have no yearn to do it again.
Now, who would think you're going to maybe get tired climbing on Kilimanjaro? Who?
I don't know if I want to know my limit.
Well,
I don't want to know my limit.
well, I tell you,
I'm not so
it is
brave.
a small mountain that I totally advise you to go called Everest. Maybe that one you could do, because Louise is totally up for it. Because sometimes people ask me, Chris, here in Brazil, people say, Chris, tell me about your friends. I say, well, maybe I shouldn't start with Louise because it's too scary. If I say what she's done before and where she is now, maybe I put the stakes too high.
We are talking with a survivor.
Yeah, I'm talking
Not
about
just
like
a normal human.
badass woman, survivor, high heel, whoa. And she writes a novel in the fucking minus 60 degrees.
And
with-
we live in Rio de Janeiro,
yeah,
so
with
this is
fucking
hard.
polar bears all around her. So yeah, I think better not. Please enlighten us. How was to write a novel with polar bears hunting? You know, what do you eat over there?
I have to tell you, Chris, I do write inside. I don't write outside. when it's
Really?
writing.
That's a disappointment.
Yeah.
That is a disappointment.
That's the time of the bad joke. Do you want to know what she eats?
What?
Ice cream.
Ah!
Okay, this was terrible. Sorry for
Yeah,
this.
that was yeah. Well,
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay, next
yeah.
topic,
But
please.
I tell you what she eats. Louise, please tell us what you eat. You
What
eat
we
what you
eat?
hunt.
Yeah. We eat mostly at the minute caribou. We got a couple of caribou, so they're like reindeer. I don't know if you know what caribou are,
Is
even.
that
I guess
big?
you don't have many in Brazil.
Big
They're like-
animal. You know,
Yeah.
Father Christmas. They go in the sky.
Yes, that's the one. Yes, reindeer. Yeah,
Reindeer.
that's
The
the
bigger
wild
one.
version of reindeer.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're similar to reindeer.
She hunts.
Yeah, exactly.
And then she eats.
And is it good? Do you have a recipe?
Yeah,
Do you
and
have
that's the reason I don't argue with her. That's the reason I'm always agreeing with her.
I respect you.
You understand, don't
Because
you?
who can eat
Yeah,
me?
totally. So yes, and she's asking about the recipe, Marcelle.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah, I mean, it's so nice. Caribou is so good. Anything you can do with beef, you can do with caribou. It's like a really lean.
It's
kind of
meat.
beef. Venison would be similar.
Oh, actually, Marcel has a point. I imagine because you come on, you hunt the caribou, which I imagine is not really easy. But then you had this huge caribou at your door, and then you probably had 1,022 recipes of caribou meat.
Here in northern Canada, we don't have the spices. So although you can cook all these recipes, like it's hard to get the stuff to go with it. So everything we cook has like cabbage or like just curry or like beetroot. You know what I mean? We don't have all the beautiful
Little bit of
salad
ice.
stuff and all the fresh food that you have in Brazil. We don't have it here. So it's like like just root vegetables, very basic onions and cabbages and beetroot and things like that.
But
So
you
it's
look
all
really good,
healthy.
really healthy.
So it's caribou diet.
Yeah. It's gonna be a
She
trend.
looks wonderful. That's
gonna
what
be a
I'm
trend.
saying.
Oh.
What's your secret?
Send you some caribou jerky.
Yeah, man, please.
How's that?
Please. We were talking the last time we talked about doing some home exchange. Remember, Louise? I
Yes.
go over there
Yeah, I'm
and she
waiting
goes
for
to
you to
Rio.
come. Yeah, I'm looking forward to my couple of weeks in Rio for definite. Can you pack your bags, please?
No, totally. And I promise, left Louise with a pair of Havaianas sandals.
Sure, flip flops.
Yes,
yes.
Brazilian flip flops.
Yeah, and I promise as well to
Yeah.
leave her with my dog because let's be honest, Spike is not gonna survive half an hour. And she promised to leave me her dog because let's face it, I need to have something to guide me over there.
Yeah,
So it's a fair exchange. You know what I
I
mean?
think so.
And
I
leave
think
me
so.
some caribou meat in your fridge.
Yeah, sure, yeah. But we don't have a fridge. We don't need one. It's like 30
obviously. Oh, oh.
Oh my god.
We just put things on the floor if we want to keep them cold. That's true. Like I could show you, there's like milk and things on the floor down there. Like we don't need a fridge.
And you
Put it on
put
the floor.
salt on it because I remember that salt makes things.
Do you need salt?
I say that again. Sorry, you broke up. Do I?
Salt. You put salt
Salt.
on things
On the meat.
to make it last longer. Actually, it's not only for the
Oh.
spice.
You sprinkle
salt, yeah. Actually, what we do, most of it, we can it. So we actually cook it in a pressure cooker and keep it in cans. But yes, when we're doing jerky, you just put some salt on it, and actually maybe we put some spices as well, and just let it dry in thin strips. Yeah, you can salt it. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, that's clarified.
It's a great tip. I
Yeah,
will.
yeah. So now I'm going to tell you a few little things about our star, which she was. I mean, she still is a superstar. She was very proudly saying, one of my actors of one of my plays, which we have something to discuss here about that, because she did. I did a play in London.
I want to see images of this later.
Well,
okay?
we can't show you; it's too pornographic. Honestly,
Really?
No, it's
my
not
God, I didn't know
allowed.
about
It's
this.
not allowed. And I mean, she's a family girl now. She has a husband, a dog,
But she has a
a
past.
sled. Yeah,
Okay.
come on. We don't want to expose her to that
Okay, sorry.
extent. She's a writer now. Come on. But she was some actress. And anyway, she did one of my plays, and which I was extremely grateful, because I was testing this play various times until I get until I perfected. And she was kind enough to be one of the actors. But the play was very, it was improvisation, and it was very difficult play. And I said, "Oh, Louise, do you mind to do this part?" Which was, very complicated part. And it was very funny because the actors got in, and the seats were unmarked. So they need to tell if it was one person of the audience, they need to say, "Excuse me, that is my place. Do you mind if I sit?" Do you think Louise did like that?
What did she do?
I mean, she nearly threw the woman.
Get out.
Yeah. Before the play starts, was a whole play going on with Louise and the member of the audience arguing.
The show began before.
Yes, it was so funny, but it was brilliant. And
it's a brilliant play. You're such a good writer. I hope you're still writing.
Yeah, I am. I'm writing a bit less, which I'm missing loads. I'm coming back now to my writing because I really miss I love writing, and I'm missing loads of my writing. I'm getting too busy with other stuff, and now I'm really want to focus on my writing.
And other things, you need to focus on your writing.
Exactly, because make me happy, and I think that is something that I really.
Yeah. Now, when I see you're talking right now, I have a question to Louise. Can I?
Please do.
How can you keep art alive in your life when you are where you are right now? I mean,
that's a really interesting question.
You don't see so much people, of course, but you have to keep art alive. How do you do this?
Yeah. Do you know, that's a really interesting question, Marcelle. And like when we first moved here,
I love how you say my name. I love her, Marcelle.
Well, how should I say it? Did I say it wrong? How do I say it?
No,
please tell me.
It's totally right. I prefer my name like this.
Yeah.
I will call my mom right now. Please change my name. Marcelle, it's perfect.
Oh, thank you. When I first moved here, like a lot of our work was very physical because we were getting the place set up and learning how to live the life. So it was almost like farm work, like a lot of working with logs and building and getting firewood and this kind of thing. A lot of mechanics, actually. We have to do a lot of mechanical work. And I realized, like, I've been an actor all my life, that I really missed creativity and I really missed the arts. But like you say, as an actor, I'm working with other people all the time. So to be in the middle of the wilderness and the bush, it's like, well, who do I work with, And I'd been a writer years ago before I became an actor. And I actually found, like, I thought I need to do something that I can do a practice I can do by myself. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get back into writing. But then I realized I couldn't just sit and write by myself. But the great thing is now we have this world where we have like Zoom and all these things where we can speak to people, that even out here in the wilderness, I do my writing and I belong to about 3 or 4 different critique groups, and I meet up with other writers like all across Canada, some of them across the world, and we share our writing and we give each other notes. And so it's like I found a way to collaborate using this, which is the satellite internet, which is so recent. You guys can't believe, living in a city where you have everything and you can do this all on your mobile phones. Up here until, like a year ago, we were on this really old satellite system, and you could like maybe send one email and then it would crash, and then you try and look at like social media and it crash, and now we actually have a really good connection, so I can do things like this. So that's how I keep it alive. I like work by myself in the cabin, in the dark, crazy, and then I turn on Zoom, I join my meetings, or all the different apps that are out there, and share with other people. So it's a really good question, and it's taken me a long time to find a way to do that.
And that's why you accept to do crazy things like this.
Yes.
Like talking to us.
Also because I love Chris. Okay.
Ah,
I totally
that's
love
so
Chris.
sweet.
And we actually, although we're like miles apart now, and we haven't actually seen each other for years, the other thing is social media. There's stuff that's bad about it, but to be able to see your friends from years ago and see what they're doing and see where they are, it's amazing. So I don't know how Chris feels, but I feel like we're still in touch. We always have been. Does that make sense, Chris?
Totally. I feel the same.
Yeah. She's crying right now.
Yes.
I think we have a
yes,
we need
you
a break.
can see my tears is coming from all place of from my heart. And by the way, talking about
I thought
friends,
you would say from your body. Okay.
I try to be poetic.
Okay.
But talking about friends, I told you that before, but I will say it again. Elliot Fisher also wrote a book, one of our crew members, and he's also in the middle of nowhere, which is the middle of...
He's in Sweden, you said. I think.
Exactly, but not like you, because you managed to be really in the middle of Arctic Circle, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, we're in the subarctic, but we're very much more isolated than Sweden.
Fucking Arctic, baby.
Yeah. I just see this on the books. I have no idea.
You got it. This is adventurous girl, the kick ass of the bears, and what's the name of the thing you hunt again? Caribou. Yeah, you say caribou.
Yeah, and grizzly bears and moose.
Yeah, there you go.
A lot of big animals around here.
Me too. I hunt leopard other day. Didn't we?
Really?
Yes.
Here in Brazil?
Here on the street.
Oh my God.
On the road.
Lapa, somewhere like that.
Yes, full of leopards.
There's any McDonald's?
I don't think so.
Oh my God.
Yeah, there's McDonald's in Whitehorse, which is about 600 kilometers from here. So that's kind of close for us.
Yeah, it wouldn't be a fast food, right?
No.
Yeah.
It would be a frozen food.
Frozen and lazy, and it would
that
take
was
too long.
funny. Hey, listen, now I would like to know all about your book. Tell me, spell the beans.
Yeah, well, the one I'm working on now is called Crooked Creek, and it's going to be a really scary, but also I hope funny a thriller with a supernatural element. So it's a modern story set in modern times.
Really badass.
Yes.
Oh my God.
I want to know.
And she is in the dark.
Please.
So
Yes, I can tell the feeling. I'm getting the creeps. Yeah, I'm getting very creepy.
But I like it.
Yeah,
Please.
yes. Tell us.
Yeah, so it's set in modern day, the modern day thriller. But I don't know if you know this, but the area where I am is the area of the Klondike Gold Rush. So it's got a white man history that goes back like over 100 years. I mean, there were indigenous people here way before then, the Klondike. But this was the area of the gold rush at the end of the 18th century. So I want a kind of ghost story from there that somehow kind of seeps, time slip into the modern times and affects what's going on in the mining and the situation here now. So that's what I'm working on, and it is a lot of fun to work on. And it's not ready yet, so I will let you know as soon as it's out there, and I've given a copy to my agent, and we've done all the edits and all that kind of thing. But I am really looking forward to this book being out there. So yeah, that's it's called Crooked Creek. Maybe a while. Chris, you know how slow the publishing industry is, so it could be a little while, and I will have to come back on the show and tell you all about it when it's got a publisher.
Can't wait, because I definitely will do it another talk with you because I'm thrilling. So you got an agent. Yay.
Yeah. I'm very lucky. Yes, it's. I mean, I don't know how many of your listeners know about the industry. I guess quite a few do, but it's really, really hard to get an agent. And I was lucky, a literary agent. I was lucky because I live here. Initially, there was interest in me writing a memoir because our journey here in the wilderness started kind of crazy. So there was a little bit of craziness. There's quite a story, but I kind of decided writing a memoir wasn't for me. So my agent has been very kind and has kind of stuck with me while I'm writing a novel. So that's good. And I already have one novel that's finished and that's out on submission. I can't say too much about that at the minute. That's also set here in the bush in the Yukon. So we'll have to see how it goes with that. We'll see. But yeah, as soon as I have news, I'm going to be banging on your door again going, hey, you got to have me back on because I can give you all the details now.
Sure thing. But I totally understand why you move into the romance. Because I think you have a very creative mind, and I think the romance have more opportunities for you to work their way. I think that when you work with diaries and memoirs, you tend to get more stiff on that perspective.
Yeah. It's true, Chris. What I found was that because it's with a memoir, you have to stick to the truth. I mean, obviously you have some flexibility, but it's got to be true. And then that becomes very limiting. And actually what I decided I wanted to do was to take what was the main element I felt of the story of our, one of the most interesting things, which was that we ended up kind of out in the bush with a guy who was probably a sociopath, right? So it was kind of crazy and scary. And I was like, okay, that's the interesting bit. The rest of it, how we got here and whatever we did was all right, whatever, that's the interesting bit. So that's the bit I took from my first book, is a couple out in the wilderness, new here, and some people turn up and they are perhaps very dangerous, and they're all stuck together. So that was the idea for the first book. Since then, I've kind of moved it on because I've always wanted to write a ghost story. I love ghost stories. I absolutely adore them. So there's so much here that's spooky.
Look behind you with the ghost.
Yeah, true.
It's his friend.
Oh, yeah.
That's the problem. This woman doesn't like limits at all. And I was thinking, where you live, I think that the conversation will be a little bit deep right now because I want to ask what the silence taught to you.
Wow.
The silence.
That's interesting.
When
no one's thought to ever ask me that. So that's because it is so profound. And I think no one thinks to ask me because unless you experience it, you don't know. And you have incredibly wild places in Brazil. But my guess is, you can correct me, you don't have silence because you will have insects and birds and animals and, all this kind of thing making noise. Here in the winter, we can go months and the only animal we will see is a raven. Like, it is silent. There's not chattering birds like even in London, you remember, Chris, in London, there's birds outside,
Sure.
There's nothing, there's no airplanes fly over. So you hear the wind and you hear the wind in the trees, and on the cold days when it's deeply cold, there's usually no wind. Then the cold settles, so the wind will blow it away, and then you truly experience what silence is. You can stand outside and you can hear just about nothing. It's kind of incredible.
My God, I can't imagine. But I want to ask you something particular, really touched me, which you probably saw many, many, many times, and I really envy you for that, which is the Aurora Boreal. Tell me about it.
Well, I have seen some incredible.
It's normal to her every day in the
Probably.
morning. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
She have her
It's
breakfast.
a coffee and
breakfast.
Yeah. Take a shower, look at it.
She's boring of it. Yeah.
It's Aurora boring.
Yeah.
Boring.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
that
like
was
that
terrible.
night, so,
Boring out. Okay.
I tend not to get up now because the thing is they don't go all night, right? So they'll maybe go like for an hour or something, and you don't know when that is.
Yeah.
And so I'm like one of those
She's very
people now. I'm
snobbish
like,
with that. Just half an hour. Just half an hour.
I'm in bed. So unfortunately, I do tend to miss it, But I mean, I've got to say, when it's clear, we do see it quite a lot. But sometimes you get the most spectacular displays. And when we first moved here, like I would stay up more to see them. Whereas now I'm like, okay, got that. It's cold. I'm going to bed.
Okay. But just tell me, there are many colors or mainly green? Come on,
It's
I'm
mainly
Brazilian.
green. But at the minute we are in like a peak of activity, and so you get the blues. Sorry, not blues. The pinks and the purples. But mostly it's green. But when it's a really powerful display, it will have these vivid pinks and purples in as well. And we're actually in it goes into, I think it's 7-year cycles or 10-year cycles. I can't remember. Actually, it could be 20-year cycles. Ignore that. I need to Google it. But we're in a high point at the minute. So I am actually, if I wake up in the night, opening the door and having a look out and see if it's clear, see what's going on.
And you can even take a picture and post on Instagram in the same moment.
Yeah, I do try, but it doesn't. My camera isn't good enough. I don't think it's actually quite hard to get a picture of them. But if you Google it, I mean, at the minute, if you look at Dawson City or the Yukon, there's photos galore of it because there's so much of it right now. We're in a real high point. But yeah, sadly. But we are going to go camping up in the mountains. Not very high, not high as Kilimanjaro. These are mountains, no altitude sickness. And wait for a clear night. Just pack the snow machines, pack the skidoos, pack a tent, pack a stove, and just head up. And then, because when you're in the mountains, we're in a valley, right? We live right by the Yukon River, so our view of it is we're in a valley. It's not so great, but when you go up, then you see literally all around. The northern lights go from horizon to horizon. It's incredible. So we are going to try and do that and hope we catch them.
Wow. I have another question, which is two questions. What was the most terrifying thing happened to you over there, and the most wonderful thing happened to you over there?
I think the most terrifying thing was our snow machines went through the ice, and we were going to visit some friends who live about 80 kilometers away. I think maybe a little bit more, 100. I'm not sure, 80 kilometers maybe. And it was dark because it doesn't get light until 11 o'clock in the morning. We'd left early and we were on our skidoos, and I was going first, and it was a part of the river. It was like the snow had blown off. It was ice, and I thought it was ice, and it wasn't. It had started to. You get water that flows over the top of the ice sometimes, and the ice had started to disintegrate. And I drove straight out in the middle of it, and my machine just dropped down through. And Neil followed me, and he got stuck and we were stuck about a quarter of a mile apart. We could just see each other. It was just getting light. We were standing on the seats of our skidoos, and they were underwater. And it was like, all right, this is bad. Because this is bad.
How did you get the machines out of the ice?
Well, oh my God, it took 9 hours.
It's
Luckily we had an emergency device which could send a message via the satellite, and we managed to message our friends and say, we're really badly stuck. Can you come and help? But he couldn't get to us with his machine. What we managed to do was we had about a couple 100 feet of rope, and we managed to, with an ice anchor, find a piece of solid ice, and we literally had to hand winch these machines out of the river. And once we'd got them close enough, our friend was able to get his machine over. And I mean, we were soaked, and it wasn't cold for here. It was about 20 below, which is actually not cold for here. It gets a lot colder. I know that sounds cold, but it wasn't as cold as it could have been. And we were literally just wading through the river, through all this kind of slushy snow. And then again, that was another time where I learnt my limit. And I think I always had this fantasy that if something happened, I would just go off into the woods with my chainsaw, and I'd cut down some trees and make a fire and make a camp. And I realized, oh shit, I can't even walk from the river to the woods, let alone think about getting a chainsaw or an axe and making a fire and all this kind of thing. That was another time when I went, okay, this could have got really, really horrible. But it ended up, we actually had a great time. We spent 9 hours getting the machines out. Then our friend collected us, dragged the machines to his place, which was where we were heading, put them in his workshop, and got the fire going so they could defrost, because by now they're literally full of ice, up to the cowling. And we went in, we got drunk, and we had a curry. It was great. But at that moment, we went into the water. It was like, oh my God, we are really screwed here. So I think that was my sort of most frightening moment here.
And you say everything laughing.
Yeah.
This is the lesson. I almost died, but I'm laughing.
We weren't laughing at the time. We were screaming at each other. This is the thing when you're a married couple and you do this stuff, is instead of just getting on and rescuing the machines and working out what you're going to do, we had a big row, 1/4 of a mile apart, about whose fault it was.
the discussion
That's what happens, right?
The discussion with Louise and Neil is something like, with a couple in Brazil, is something like that you didn't see the pressure of the tire, and then it's like, you didn't see the polar bear coming in your direction. Come on, it's something totally normal. Every couple must have this kind of a talk at some point.
And you can even say, I want a divorce.
Yes.
You can't say
you
this
can't
because
say,
you don't have
because
the
in the middle, yes, it's like
in the middle of nowhere.
I demand a separation.
There's not a lawyer.
You need to leave the house now.
You're gonna sleep on the sofa.
Yeah. You need to sleep with Blaze.
I think that is the secret for a good marriage. Live in
Alaska. I think it's the only secret for long-lasting
make
marriage.
it life-threatening.
Yeah, it's nearly stuff like this. You have two options:
or die.
Either we get on or die.
It's easy.
Yeah, I think that's I tell you, why don't you make a camping for couples? Camping for couples.
A rehab.
You make the sheds. You make the sheds. And suddenly, all these couples that think they have a problem, at the moment they need to face a river of ice, I'm sure the problem is going to be very, very small. And they're going to love each other like no tomorrow. Man, we cannot. Well, I tell you what, I make these announcements here in Brazil. These people they have a problem when they have actually beach and Hawaii sandals. They said, "Do you think you have a problem? You think you have a couple problem?" I tell you what, I will send you to a friend of mine, and she's gonna show you the fucking problem, and then you come back and you let me know if you still have a couple problem.
Yeah,
I have to sell this.
Yeah, fucking genius.
Are you rich?
Totally
Many
rich.
of those couples will split up, though, unfortunately.
Or they kill each other.
Marriage. Yeah.
As well.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, or only
Probably.
one person makes it out of the river, right?
As well. Remember that I asked her the last time as well, if you ever had a shiny moment. Remember?
Yes.
Shiny moment?
No.
Shiny the movie.
Yeah. When Chris asked me,
okay.
I thought you meant shiny as in bright, and then I realized what you meant, The Shining. I was like, oh yeah, now
yeah,
I know
well,
what you mean.
hide the axis.
Yeah.
You know, like a moment that Louise look at Neil and look at the axe, and look at Neil and look at the axe and thought, I'll be better off just with Blaze.
Yeah.
I mean,
the thing is, the axes, we have these tools all the time. Like we use axes every day. We use chainsaws every day. It's so easy. It would be so easy for something to go wrong, right?
Yes. No, because when I see her pictures, she just not have just a axe, but she have like swords, massive swords, machines. And I was like, chainswords. And I was like, whoa.
Be careful.
Be careful what you say in a bad time, in a wrong moment. You say like, darling, I didn't like very much your meat today. It's not advisable.
I'm afraid. I don't know why. I'm afraid right now.
No, I don't need that. She's very distant. I don't think she can
I think she can make.
I don't think she can do it.
She doesn't like limits.
No, I mean, she surely can find us, but it's going to take a while, you know what I
But
mean?
do you have plans to
Yeah.
visit Rio? Do you plan travels or?
Yeah, she promised to come.
I would love to. I would love to. I've never been to Brazil. I would love to come down. Yeah, absolutely.
No,
Absolutely.
but she come to Rio and she goes like, oh, fuck, it's just boring. Where's the Amazon forest?
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, the thing is, what living out here makes you appreciate is how incredible cities are, and the life and the vibrancy of cities. Because we don't have that. It's not a
And,
vibrant place.
But there is a
you know?
community there, like a sense of community,
There
but they are
is,
really
not
far.
around us. Yeah, I mean, not around us. So where we are at the minute, it's just us. And the river, we have 2 periods of the year, in spring and in the autumn and fall, when we can't travel anywhere because the river is either freezing up or it's the ice is breaking up. And so we can only travel by boat or by skidoo, by snow machine. So we're actually cut off right now. So there is a community about 60 kilometers called Dawson City, which is upstream from us. But we can't get there. We've got no way of getting there because we're not on the road system. So though there is a community, we're not always within that community. And also small northern towns, it's not like Rio and it's not like London. In the winter, I'm telling you, you could shoot a gun down the high street. There's no one walking around. There's no, it's...
You can
there's
walk.
like maybe
No,
a couple
I
of-
would ask if she can walk naked, but it would be so
No,
cold.
would not want to do that.
I don't even want to do this. And there is another question. This is a deep one, okay?
Okay.
There is any gossip,
Yes.
like
of
that
course.
neighborhood 6 miles
Yes.
away?
That
Yes.
is a good
It's
question.
terrible. Yeah, it's terrible. And that's another really good question because, like, on the river, our nearest neighbors, our nearest people upstream is Dawson City. It's a little town of 2,000 people. And then if you go downstream, there's a couple that are about 20 miles away. And then there's another couple that are 30 miles beyond them. And all you do is gossip about each other. It's the joke. When you go visit someone, you come pull into their cabin and you talk about the people you've just seen. And then you pull into someone else's cabin, then you talk about those people. Because gossip is universal, that's for sure.
Sure.
It's a human thing.
Did you have
No gossip, no human.
that the thing that they say that sometimes when you're too cold, you feel hot?
Oh, no, luckily not. That's hypothermia, and that's
Yeah.
really serious. That's at the point where
Yeah.
you're just about to die. And I have been so cold I thought I was going to die, but luckily I've never got so cold I thought it was hot, which is when I was going to die. But yes, I have been like so unbearably cold. I have thought, am I okay? Have my feet frozen? But luckily I've been all right. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, take care of yourself, darling.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, it's what it is. It's because we're so far away from town. Although it's only 60 kilometers, I'm going to have to do it in miles. I can't do the math. It's 40 miles up river. But in the early winter, we can't go that way. We have to go a long way around, which is 80 miles. And you may be better at maths. Can you work out what it is kilometers? It's a long way, right? So we can be out traveling if things go wrong for like 9 hours. And it's at the end of, it's not so much how cold it is, it's how long you're out in it. So if it's 30 below and you're out for 9 hours, I'm telling you by the end, you are cold. It doesn't matter like what you're wearing or what you're doing, you're cold. But luckily, I've never been hypothermic and we've never got frostbite. So we dress well and we try and keep moving and, get off the machine, move around a bit if you need to. So yeah, but it gets cold.
I have to confess that I imagined you would be with more coats,
Closer.
Yeah. I can see your neck and you have a necklace.
Yeah, well, there's a wood stove right there. I won't point the camera because my poor husband is there trying to work.
He's trying to work.
Fortunately, poor thing. But we have like a big wood stove. It's made out of an oil drum, like a 50-gallon oil drum. You know what I mean? Like a big oil drum. It's got a chimney in the top, the door at the front. It's on legs, so we can get a lot of wood in there. So the great thing, like Chris will tell you this, right? I come from Britain, and houses in Britain are cold. Oh my God, they're drafty. They're
very
damp,
cold.
Yeah, right, Chris. I'm not lying, am I?
No.
So,
they are really.
yeah.
Even the castle's even colder.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Even
The old
colder.
buildings are even worse.
Yeah.
But it's brick, it's damp. Whereas here, like it's logs. The logs are tight. You burn wood. We don't have to pay for electricity. We go out and cut dead trees. And then, so there's no like, the other thing in a lot of countries, you don't want to turn the heating up, so it's expensive. I mean, I guess you guys don't have to cope with that in Brazil, luckily, but here we can just get the cabin as hot as we want, and then we just go out to the wood pile and get some more wood. So
how many trees to keep you warm 1 week?
I would say, do you know what? Like, Chris, how long is a piece of string? Because is it 50 below or is it 5 below? Like, there is literally no way of what I can tell you is we use 10, maybe about 8 or 10 cords a winter. Maybe 10 cords a winter. And a cord, as everyone knows in Brazil, I'm sure, is 8 foot by 2 foot by 4 foot. It's that amount of wood, and we use
Frozen.
Oh damn, Louise.
So
you literally frozen wood, for some seconds for us.
Okay, let me know when I'm back in.
You're back.
You're back. Yeah.
Okay. Good. All right.
You're back. I'm gonna make one last question and prepare your last question. Okay. My last question, it's a very classical question from us, which is sometimes we ask what you're grateful of what things you're grateful, but I ask what things you are very ungrateful that in your journey so far. So what things you're very ungrateful you'd you like to be thankful for being ungrateful to them?
Brilliant, Chris. Okay, you need to explain. So I've got to say what I'm ungrateful for. Or
yes, what you're ungrateful for.
Ungrateful for. Oh my God, that's a good question, isn't it? What am I ungrateful for?
Very.
Right. I am ungrateful for the lack of good pubs and good food and good company in the wilderness. I am totally ungrateful about that. I am sick of trees. I'm sick of caribou. I'm bored of snow. Okay, I'm bored of
I hope they
wildlife.
can hear this.
Yes. I want a pub. I want good company. I want some beautiful fresh food. So that is what I'm ungrateful for about the wilderness. And there are times when people put shit on social media, like they're having dinner somewhere, they're eating this, and I just look at it and I'm like, oh God, that looks amazing. Or they're in a pub and I'm like, oh God, I'd love to be in a pub. So that is my most ungrateful thing.
It's noted. Your turn, darling.
She have to come visit Rio.
Oh, totally. Or gonna be worse. We go over there.
Yeah.
bringing beers or good food and good chat. So your last question.
Yeah, you said about the spooky things, and we are talking about the environment that you are, that is really cold. But my question is, it's a really sweet question because I'm cute today. What does make your heart melt? In life, I'm talking about the life.
Yeah. Okay, quite a few things. So, okay, I think the first thing
ghosts.
It is so beautiful here, like so beautiful. That makes my heart melt. There are sometimes that you just look at and you see skies here. I'm not talking about northern lights. I'm just talking about skies that are colors that I've never seen before anywhere in the world. It is otherworldly. It is like an alien landscape, and it's so incredibly beautiful. So that is something that makes my heart absolutely melt here, and I think it's the reason we stay. It's just so beautiful. And then I think because the life is so quiet, you have these really isolated little moments that you really notice, like just interacting with the dog. The way the dog gets totally overexcited about is when we're going to take him for a walk, or like we have a raven that's hanging around now, and it's like it's become like a neighbor. You look out and there it is, sat next to the dog. They sit next to each other, and you just get these little moments that maybe when life's a bit more fast paced and there's more going on around you, maybe you don't pick up on them so much. So there are those moments. And also I think because we live without so many things, when you have them, when we go into Dawson and we meet our friends, we meet other people, they feel wonderful. And it's easy to take that for granted. You guys are probably busy, you see lots of people, you'll probably be meeting other people later tonight doing this, that. We don't have that. So we really value it when we get it. So I guess the inverse of Chris's question is we are very grateful when we have nice things, and that makes my heart melt.
Oh, you're so sweet. I miss you truly. I really, really miss you. It's so nice to see you. You're looking gorgeous. Please send my love to Neil.
I will do. And poor thing, he apologizes if he had to disturb us. He had a meeting, which he's
Absolutely.
he has to do. So he's been very tolerant of us
yes.
chatting away down here. It's been so lovely to speak to you.
Indeed, absolutely. Thank you so much. I miss you. I miss you. I can't have the words enough to say how much it's been wonderful to see you again. And it's very important for me to know that you're safe, that you're happy, that you're having amazing adventure, and that you guys are fine. For me, it means a lot. Really means a lot.
So good to have this chance to speak to you and speak to you again, because we had some technical screw-ups.
That's true.
Before. And to meet Marcelle, how wonderful. And sorry, my husband's now doing stuff with the noisy stove. It's been really, really lovely. And so you need to come here and visit, and I'm coming to Rio for definite. Okay?
Definitely. Let's arrange that.
I have to say, Chris is crying here, and I have a question. When you cry, the tears frozen, or I'm too crazy?
Yes.
Really?
Absolutely.
Oh my God. This is my biggest question.
Yes, they do. I mean, I try not to cry like, hopefully I'm not crying because I'm so sad when I'm out, but your eyes stream because of the cold in the wind, and they freeze and they fall off your cheeks. It is true.
Wow. That is amazing. That is amazing. Listen, now to finish, I would like to know if you do me the honors to actually do the ending of the show in English. Would you do that, or what would you like me to do?
I want you to do. I just want to give Louise a warm hug from Brazil. There we have a lot of. Como é que é calor? Heat in here.
Heat.
So we are in the opposites ways, but
so
a warm hug for you. It was a pleasure.
And thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
And in honor.
We've overcome various technical difficulties and holdups, but it's still incredible that we are speaking from the subarctic Canada all the way down to Rio. It's a miracle.
It's a stretch.
And I think in honor to your friendship, you have to finish.
Okay. So
sure.
I will close now. And here we conclude another unusual episode. Unusual. I will say it again, unusual. And I would like to thank the presence of Louise Dumayne, Marcelle Pepe, right?
Yeah,
and my loyal audience and the people who are always here with me. Remember, children, fight the good fight. Because we are all created, we are all creators. Cheers, Louise. Thank you very much. Send my love to all.
Thank you for having me on.
Love you.
Lovely to meet you.
Love you. Love you loads. See ya.
Assim, ó, valeu aí por ter assistido a mais um episódio dos Criadores de Casos. Para quem gosta de escrita criativa e mentes subversivas, é só se inscrever no nosso canal do YouTube. Escritora Cristina Teixeira, e até o próximo episódio de Rebeldia Literária. E não se esqueça, todos criamos, somos todos criadores.